weaponry, the actual physical weaponry, and also the way they manipulate information. How can we end it? How can we stop it?
Well, the interesting question about the weaponry is an interesting question, but you notice in Iraq, although America spends more on military hardware than anybody else by a long, long way, it still can't control a bunch of ex-go-go's and determined to protect their country. And that's the important point. It's a bit like Vietnam. People are actually fighting for their own homes and land. They seem to have a different motivation, stronger motivation. So resistance forces can often bring down great armies, even though they're nowhere near as well equipped, basically. So I wouldn't be too worried about the Americans having all this military hardware, other than the fact it's just making extremely corrupt people even richer. As Truman, not Truman, Eisenhower, as Truman said that, you know, every dollar spent on defence is a dollar of food taken out of the mouths of the poor. And this is from a Republican ex-military president, basically, who also, of course, warns about the military-industrial complex. What was the other part of your question? The first part, sorry?
What do you think?
The next thing. Well, it's a whole kind of series of projects going on at the moment, like, on one hand, identity cards, things that we can very easily observe. There's also lots of other suspicious things going on, like HAARP, which appears to be weather modification. Of course, the chemtrails, which are denied by the American military, but can be seen by anybody with their own eyes or in photographs. And so it looks like there's a whole series of assaults going on, basically, in which they are going to separate those who I imagine the way they will do it is separate those who are happy to work for big business and those basically who are not, those who are going to question. And the way forward they would like to have retained people who will do their shitty work for them, will be free, and the rest of us who question it will be shoved in concentration camps. I mean, that is not fanciful. They've already tried to establish the precedents for this by putting people in prison without trial. Now, Hitler didn't go from Germany being a democracy to the final solution overnight. It was a gradual process of erosion of liberties that at one point suddenly snowballed. This is traditionally what happens when you have liberties taken away. There's a little more to start with. It's like taking away the right of silence to start with. And so on. But you just go down a line like that until suddenly you're in a situation in which you're on the same side of the war as a country that's torturing people, as a country that's using white phosphorus against civilians, a country that's using depleted uranium. Now, I don't think we should be on the side of any of those people in wars or whatever. There's no excuse for it, basically. But what we need, of course, is people who are not going to look at that and either not take it seriously, or people who take it seriously and think, well, how can I do anything about this? What we're going to do is just say that it's simply unacceptable and make sure that we stand up for it, basically.
How do we say that?
Sorry?
How do we say that?
How do we do it? How do we do it? Well, I mean, it's obviously traditional things like writing to your MP, writing to ministers. Not going to get you very far, but I think we should do it just to say you've done this and complain about the fact it doesn't get you anywhere. But I mean, I think in some cases it's numbers. If we can, for example, choose an MP, and everybody in this room wrote to an MP about 9/11, you think, my God, what's going on here? Why is Totnes up in arms about 9/11? It would actually create some interest. And I think what we've got to do is the number thing. If we're doing it all together, I mean, we are now getting to the point where we're going to have to go and pick at the BBC and copies of the DVD, because BBC will not talk to us about 9/11. Just simply won't listen to what we've got to say. So what you do is you stand outside the building, you hand the things out to the journalists. Now, obviously not all will watch them, but being journalists, you imagine a good proportion would. And then, of course, you're in a situation with people on the ground having a similar opinion about 9/11 to you. So you've got people on the inside arguing with their own management. Again, they may not get that far, but at least that process is started. And it becomes more and more untenable to have an elite at the top who don't have anything in common with the people they govern. And it's also possible, of course, to be very different in this country, but it is possible that, given what's going on in the next generation, what we expect to happen, that people will be so pissed off by then, that there may even be a possibility of some kind of other party emerging, which can change the kind of two-party system or whatever.
I would say one other point you can do is look at other campaigns going on which community institutes.
Yeah.
Dave mentioned the ID card systems, they're trying to force down on friends. There is a big campaign running on that. Go and join it, be invited to everything about that as well. There's all these incremental steps as part of the big picture. So we can oppose them and radicalise some of ourselves and other people around us on one, if not more of these issues. We bring up the level of awareness generally about what people are up to.
Well, we've seen something when we're all, it's been a big protest against the war. I think the do it in big numbers. You can shout outside the House of Parliament and be blue in the face.
It's against the law now.
Yeah.
They don't care. You know, it just, they don't seem to, well, no, the only way to hurt government is to hurt big business, which then the big business, the lobbying powers, will then lobby government to change.
But just what that guy said, Brian Hall, he's from Birmingham, not far from where I live in Birmingham, and 200, 300 of us from all the colleges and universities literally went in and protested outside Birmingham City Hall when he was elected for Parliament. And it takes Jewish people to march for Palestinians. And it takes a reversal of the social identity that you're trapped within. In Birmingham, we've literally got different groups marching for things that are not affecting them at all, and standing for the other. And we were having a campaign at Centre Square, and we're literally we've got 340 signatures ready to literally do a public protest and burn the ID cards in the way that Gandhi was burning ID cards in the early 40s. But burn them so that you are arrested, so that you're on the news, so that people back you. I mean, Brian Hall Ridge, hundreds of people were clapping off the train, and you've seen on this. There was hundreds of people in the station.
But we can create our own news now. That's the thing about it, because we can get relatively cheap DVD cameras, things like that. We create our own news. Put it on the internet.